Thank you, Brother Derek, for that passionate prayer. And greetings, Rosemary. God bless you. The scripture reading will be taken from John 21, and we'll be reading from verse 1 through 40. The same reading from last week. I'll be reading from the New International Version and the Jamaican New Testament. When you have found it, you can say amen. Afterwards, Jesus appeared again to his disciples by the Sea of Galilee. It happened this way. Simon Peter, Thomas, also known as Didymus, Nathanael from Cana in Galilee, the sons of Zebedee, and two other disciples were together. "I'm going out to fish," Simon Peter told them. And they said, "We'll go with you." So they went out and got into the boat, but that night they caught nothing. Early in the morning, Jesus stood on the shore, but the disciples did not realize that it was Jesus. He called out to them, "Friends, haven't you any fish?" "No," they answered. He said, "Throw your net on the right side of the boat, and you will find some." When they did, they were unable to haul the net in because of the large number of fish. Then the disciple whom Jesus loved said to Peter, "It is the Lord." As soon as Simon Peter heard him say, "It is the Lord," he wrapped his outer garment round him, for he had taken it off, and jumped into the water. The other disciples followed in the boat, towing the net full of fish, for they were not far from shore, about 100 meters. When they landed, they saw a fire of burning coals there, with fish on it, and some bread. Jesus said to them, "Bring some of the fish you have just caught." So Simon Peter climbed back into the boat and dragged the net ashore. It was full of large fish, 153. But even with so many, the net was not torn. Jesus said to them, "Come and have breakfast." None of the disciples dared ask him, "Who are you?" They knew it was the Lord. Jesus came, took the bread, and gave it to them, and did the same with the fish. This was now the third time Jesus appeared to his disciples after he was raised from the dead. And now from the Jamaican New Testament. After this year, Jesus showed himself to his followers then one more time. That time, him do it at the Tiberias Sea. This hour, Simon Peter, Thomas, with them called Didymus, Nathanael, who come from Cana in Galilee, Zebedee boy picnic them, and two of Jesus' other followers them did them together. "Me a go catch fish," Simon Peter said to them. So them answered and said, "We have come with you." Them go in the boat, but the night them not catch a thing. Early in the morning, Jesus did a stand up at the seaside, but him follower them named say, "I am." Him call out to them and said, "Brethren, you don't have no fish?" "No," them answered. So him tell them, say, "Fling over the net on the right hand side of the boat, and you will find some." So them do that, and them couldn't pull up back the net, sake of the whole heap of fish where them catch with it. Then the follower where Jesus did love, tell Peter said, "And the Lord said time." Peter, said time Simon Peter heard that day. He wrapped the little clothes where he did have on around him. Because he didn't have nothing on that. And he jumped in the water. The other follower then follow back at Peter. They did a haul in the net full of fish. Because they named it far from shore. Uncle boat 100 long. When they reach him, them see coal fire with fish and bread. Jesus said to them, said, carry some of the fish when the catch come. Simon Peter climbed in the boat and hauled in the net. It is full of big fish, 153 of them. But with all the motor fish there, the net name was, come here and breakfast, Jesus said to them. But none of them named bare-faced enough to ask himself, who you? Because they did no sense and did the Lord. So Jesus come, take the bread and give it. And he do the same thing with the fish. Now that meant 3 times Jesus showed himself to him following after him come back. This is thank God. The focus verse for today will be verse 2. I am going out to fish, Simon Peter told them. And they said, we'll go with you. So they went out and got into the boat. But that night they caught nothing. May I go catch fish? Simon Peter said to them. So they answered and said, we are coming with you. Then go in on the boat. But that night they not catch a thing. Last week we looked at John 21, 1 through 14. We saw that the disciples of Jesus didn't recognize him from the shore until he told them to throw their net on the right side of the boat, and they caught a large number of fish. They had toiled all night and caught nothing. And in the end, when he invited them to have breakfast, the text says, no one dared to ask him, who are you? Therefore, we considered 3 points. 1 was Jesus can be seen in what is true and what is right. 2, Jesus can be seen in what is fruitful and abundant. And 3, Jesus can be seen in acts of grace. But our key verse today is verse 3. I am going out to fish, Simon Peter told them. And they said, we'll go with you. So they went out and got into the boat. But that night they caught nothing. Remember last week I told you that in the Gospel of John, day and night are also metaphorical terms. The night is where you struggle and battle for a hold of yourself and a hold on life. In the book of John, it is the place where Jesus is absent. And we see that in the text. Jesus appeared at daybreak, right after they toiled all night. The day, however, represents the opposite. It represents the place of clarity, understanding, and perspective. It is the place where Jesus is. So, we can understand why when Peter and the other disciples went out to fish, the text says, that night they caught nothing. That said, today we'll be considering what it means to toil all night, to struggle in the night. Our theme for today will be struggling in the night. But before we begin, let us pray. Father God, I pray that these words would have been inspired by your mind and that they might inspire others. In Jesus' name. I'd like to share with you 3 points about struggling in the night. And it is a struggle. 1. To struggle in the night is to be unguided. To struggle in the night is to be unguided. You notice that when Jesus came to the shore just after daybreak and told them to throw their nets on the other side of the boat, they caught fish. They had toiled the entire night before and caught nothing. Here Jesus comes along and simply says, throw your nets on the right side of the boat and you will catch them. And they did. And they caught the fish. In fact, as we've just read, they caught many fish. To struggle in the night is to be unguided. Jesus, brothers and sisters, offered them guidance after daybreak on the beach. They toiled the whole night and caught nothing. Jesus offered guidance, and they accepted his instruction and received in abundance. To struggle in the night is therefore to be unguided. Because it is first of all to be without instruction. It is to be without instruction. Jesus guided them through instruction. He said, throw your net on the right side of the boat. And they did after daybreak, and they caught the fish. It is to be without instruction. But by instruction, we don't merely mean commands or a set of rules. We mean instead a set of principles that govern our lives. We mean a mental framework, a conceptual framework within which to operate and live our lives. We mean a standard that determines our ethics, a standard that determines our morality, and a standard that guides our experiences. How we do what we do, that would be guided by instruction. How we live our lives and who we are, that will be determined by instruction. This is the instruction that Jesus provides. To struggle in the night is to be unguided because it is to be without instruction. But second, to struggle in the night is to be unguided because it is to be without direction. It is to be uncertain of purpose and given to having the wrong views and doing the wrong things. Jesus instructed them to to throw their net on the right side of the boat. His instruction gave them direction. You don't know what to do, or where to go, or even where to start when Jesus is absent from our lives. When we struggle in the night, and so we catch nothing. The right side of the boat. We need Jesus to tell us to throw our nets on the right side of the boat, so we might catch something. We might catch some fish. Jesus' guidance, therefore, grants direction for our lives. It opens up our eyes. It allows us to see. That's to help you stay awake. It allows us to see. It gives us vision. It is a lamp for our feet and a light on our path. It directs us to the right path, the narrow path. So, you're not going to do any and anything with any and anybody. You're not going to go any and anywhere. Or even say the first thing will come out of your mind. Jesus hold you and I carry you through. Without Jesus, we struggle in the night. To struggle in the night is to be unguided, because it is to be without instruction and it is to be without direction. As we come to the close of this period, where we have been reflecting on the family, the popular proverb comes to mind. Start children off on the way they should go, and even when they are old, they will not turn from it. This proverb says, on the very surface of it, the same thing that we have just said, but it says it positively. To end up being guided, our children must receive instruction and direction. But this message is not just for children. It's not just for young people. It's not just for poor people. It is for all of us. Thy word is a lamp unto our feet and a light for our path. Are our actions guided by the instruction and direction of the word? 1. To struggle in the night is to be unguided. It is to be without instruction. It is to be without direction. 2. To struggle in the night is to be unproductive. They toiled all night and caught nothing. After daybreak, Jesus asked them, "Friends, haven't you any fish?" And them begs. That's why they just answer back, "No." That's it. Just a no. Not more than that. To struggle in the night is to be unproductive. But we must say here, as we always would say, that measuring productivity, we don't measure productivity primarily in materialistic terms. Rather, we are measuring this productivity in existential terms. in terms that relate to life and to living. So we're not here speaking of material, which seems to be sometimes the only or the most important blessing anyone can receive, if you follow some of the arguments in the church and in the wider society. Almost always, when you hear someone talking about blessing, they are talking about money or some other form of material wealth. But we won't make the same mistake here. We are measuring productivity in terms that relate to life and to living. So, to struggle in the night is to be unproductive. It is to, first of all, be or do, rather, things without success. It is to do things without success. That night, they caught nothing. They toiled all night, and yet they caught nothing. They struggled in the night without success. To struggle in the night is to be unproductive. It is to do things without success in two ways. It is, first of all, to not have a life of success. And again, we measure success, first of all, not in material terms, but by how close our life experiences come to the standard of the good, the right, the real, the healthy, the just, and the wholesome. How close our lives come to that standard. So success has to do with rearing a good family, with having healthy relationships with people in general, and with those close to you. It has to do with whether or not we're honest, whether we're kind or not, gentle or not, loving or not, forgiving or not. It is to have a steady hold on life. Second, we have to consider success in terms of the decisions we make. So not only the life that we live, but the decisions that we make. Again, these decisions have to do with the things that are right, godly, and just. But not only is struggle in the night to do with things, or to do things without success in living and decision making, it is also to do things without worthwhile gain, without the gain that matters. So the 7 disciples toiled all night with nothing to show for it, but their empty hands. In the end, they had nothing to show for all the work that they had done. It is to assess our lives in the end then, and find it wanting, find it lacking in substance. It is to look back and discover that there was actually no real growth. And without this instruction and direction that we previously mentioned, this is what we end up with. We end up with useless gain. Gain that doesn't add to our lives or to the lives of others. With this instruction and direction, however, our families will be productive. They will have useful gain when Jesus is present. So 2, to struggle in the night is to be unproductive. It is to be without success and worthwhile gain. Finally, to struggle in the night is in the end to be without meaning. Without meaning. So again we say, they toiled all night and had nothing to show for it. They had no food, no source of comfort, and no sign of accomplishment. They caught nothing, they had nothing. Then Jesus came along and offered them guidance, and he turned the situation around. They caught a large number of fish. And still, there was already fish waiting for them on the coastshore. If you remember, apart from the 153 large fish that they caught because they accepted the instruction and direction of Jesus. But Jesus still asked them to bring their own and invited them to come and have breakfast with him. So with Jesus then, they went from having nothing to having nothings. Nothing to nothings. To struggle in the night is to be without meaning. It is to be without fulfillment. They toiled all night and caught nothing. They were left unfulfilled, without food, a source of comfort, any sign of accomplishment. They had nothing. So too, we are left unfulfilled without the presence of our Lord Jesus Christ. Without the life that is the light of all humankind. In the end, we just don't feel a sense of accomplishment. We are left without anything of lasting value. We catch nothing. But at this point, I want to make very clear that I have not said here or anywhere in this sermon that in the end we are nothing. You heard it. I have not said here or anywhere in the sermon that in the end we are nothing. And I'll tell you why. We can never be nothing, because our Father in heaven never sees us, any of us, as nothing. Never. So whether you're a Christian believer or not, you are someone of immense worth and value in the eyes of our Father who is in heaven. And if our very own Creator and the Creator of everything doesn't ever see us as anything, we can never be them, even before our God. What I'm saying, however, is that the struggle in the night is to be left unfulfilled because of what we have at the end of the world, which is nothing of real value. The struggle in the night is to be without meaning. It is to be left unfulfilled. It is to be left unsatisfied. To always be wanting more of life, which causes us to always be searching for a thrill or some excitement, even in church. It is to be without satisfaction that comes from a life of instruction and direction, of success in living and decision making, of fulfillment, which is found where Jesus is. To struggle in the night is to be without meaning. It is to be without fulfillment, and it is to be without satisfaction. So, to struggle in the night is to be unguided, it is to be unproductive, and it is to be without meaning. So let our families be guided by the instruction and direction that comes from the Word that was in the beginning with God, and that is Himself God. This instruction and direction comes from a commitment to Christ. Let our families receive and commit to the God that guides and causes our lives to be productive and meaningful. In Jesus' name. Let us pray. Father God, we thank you for your word, which was with you in the beginning, and which is God Himself. We thank you that your word is truth, truth that guides our lives and directs our steps. We ask, Father, that we might open ourselves to receive this guidance and direction, that our lives might be productive, that it might match to the standard of nature, that it might be with meaning, with character, with stuff that is good. Help us to seek after these things as we seek after you. We pray all of this in the name of your Son, Jesus.